Hi everyone, this is Bruno from House of Corner and I'm here with Neil. Thank you so much for being here.
Guys, hey Bruno, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good man, good. It's almost like we haven't been in the room for like the past hour together.
We can go for hours. Hours and hours we'll chat.
Easy. Neil, so great to have you here. I know, and I'm very excited to like share your story with everyone out there, all the entrepreneurs. You have a journey where you have like multiple businesses now, and it's something like a dream for most entrepreneurs out there because there's all of this idea behind like multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
What is your take on the multiple streams of income?
Multiple streams of income.
Can there be problems?
Yeah, there can be.
Or is it all good?
There's always there is a few problems, yeah, because you end up tending to turn to one that you might, be more passionate about than others, but it might be the one that you're not passionate about might be more successful than the other one that you are passionate about.
Yeah.
So then what you try and do is you want to try and think about how you're going to, attack the other one.
So how do you choose? Like, how would you go about it? Let's say that you got like 2 or 3 businesses and, like the numbers say like clear as day that one business is best as all of the other ones, but it's the most boring.
Yeah, well, it's more like in terms of passion, like it's what passion you have for a business. So, for instance, I'm a jeweler by trade. That's where I find my most passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sitting there, designing and creating, and then making the piece.
Yeah.
But is it the most successful business of mine? No. But it's something I enjoy doing.
Okay.
I like to do that.
So maybe the mindset in that case is it just about maybe keep on having the business that's the cash cow, and then do it well enough where you can delegate somebody to take care of it.
Correct.
And then work on your passion.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest weaknesses is that I am trying to grasp onto every business and I don't let go. I have to trust someone in that role so I can actually move on and focus my time on stuff that I do and am more passionate about. So still have your cash cow, right? Something that's bringing the cash in, but also be able to do the business that you want to do, like for your passion. And
so in terms of experiences then, can you give us an example where I guess like you had let go and you had a bad experience, and what have you done to mitigate that same problem the following time?
Well, the first time was pretty much, I had multiple businesses, as a young age.
Yeah.
But then what happened was, I started, choosing certain business over the other business. And then what happened was I started, focusing my energy towards certain, another business.
Yeah.
Whereas now, since COVID, sort of everything was a little bit struggling here and there. Some businesses were, thriving. Some were dropping, and there was the ones that I wanted to sort of to thrive.
To focus on.
Yeah, to focus on. So
how did you make the decisions then?
Well, since COVID, I thought I'm just going to come out and I'm going to have every finger in all pies.
Oh yeah.
I want to do things that I want to do that I haven't done.
So you're kind of doing it all, right?
Doing it all, new adventures, even the existing businesses, put people into the roles. Don't be scared to, hold on to it.
So right now, like there will be a lot of entrepreneurs out there that feel overwhelmed just by having one business.
Yeah.
So what are your suggestions to somebody like that, and how would they upskill themselves to get to your level?
Let go.
Okay.
Learn to let go. Learn to move on. Delegate. Get someone in that role.
Let go.
Let go.
To that level.
Let go to that level.
Oh my God.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Trust me. Especially when it's your baby.
Yeah.
It's like your firstborn kid. Going out to the big world.
Yeah.
You don't want to let go of them. It's the same thing with your business.
So how you
got your heart and your passion into it, and you love it so much, and you just like, do I trust them with it? I've hit it over a few times. It hasn't gone well. Am I going to do it again?
Yeah.
Am I going to do it? Yes. You got to rip the Band-Aid off, and you got to do it.
So
You got to do it.
And
Otherwise,
how
you won't
do you
move
do
on.
it then? How do you like go? What are
Well,
some of
I've done
the-
it. I've put people
some
in roles.
tips?
I've put people in roles. You just have to trust people, train them better, and take the risk. Take the main risk. Don't be afraid.
So just like let go, try it.
Yeah.
And what would you say to people that are worried to, let's say, lose clients or lose business?
Well, that comes down to you being in the support and how you train that person. So you're not going to just train them in 5 minutes. It's going to take a bit of time, but there's always going to be that extra time for you to free up your time, so you can always win those clients back, or you have someone in that role that will be able to. And in the end, what I've experienced is that one client that goes and experiences that the grass ain't greener out there, so he always comes back. He always comes back anyway in the end.
All right.
So he knows where he's, where
There
he
you
is.
go.
Yeah. And
So, I mean, like, in all of your experiences now, like your journey, why did you even jump into the entrepreneurial journey? Like, you had businesses ever since you were a young kid.
5 years old.
You were born into it, you were mentioning
Yeah, I was born
before?
into it. Oh, well, that's my spiritual thing I was born into. But my grandfather come here. He come here with $1 to the country from Cairns. Cairns. Come from Cairns to Sydney with $1 in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he said he was going to make something of himself. So he then went on. He was a builder. He drove a cab. He owned hotels. Anything he could do, he did. So,
And that was when in the 60s.
yeah, in the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
He used to be a dockman. He used to swing off the harbour bridge. And
oh yeah.
yeah,
And then so it's a family of businesses.
family of business. Yeah.
Yeah?
So he was always very successful.
So what did you do?
And he bought back
being born in the family of businesses. How did that help you in your journey?
Well, it made me want to be something. It made me want to be myself, make my own money, so that he was proud of me. So he was like, would you say, I looked up to him, like
Yeah, to your grandfather.
to my grandfather.
Uh-huh.
He had that energy to want to be something.
Well, how was your relationship with him then? Was he available to you?
No, not really. In some ways,
Okay.
because he was busy. He was running businesses.
Yeah.
I wanted to always be a builder by trade, so I was always very good with building.
And
so,
did you? You did?
No, he talked me out of it. He
Don't know.
talked me out of building. He didn't want me going to the building game. There's no money in it. There's no money in
Oh,
it.
is that? Oh,
He brought back the precast slab idea. He
Oh
was the
my
first
God.
guy to bring it back to Australia.
I
Back
can't
would
believe
be
it.
52 years ago now. He brought back the first precast slab.
yeah.
And now look at the precast slabs today. But he went on and he owned 20 factories on Botany Road, right near the airport.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no money renting factories and blah, all this limiting belief and this
That's
negative
it.
energy he's throwing out there. Then he went to Cairns. My
Why-
father said to buy out in Penrith, where the new airport is,
Yeah.
and instead he went and bought over in Cairns. He built 40 units in Cairns.
Okay.
Right now, those 40 units in 20 years literally went up probably about $25,000 each.
Oh
in
no.
20 years.
No way.
If he invested the same money, that
No
he said
way.
there was no money out west, out Penrith way, then his money probably would have been $48 billion in the same money he spent in Cairns.
I can't believe it.
So,
I can't believe it.
but that's how it goes. But it's all about people listening to that voice in the back of their head.
So, but I mean, even yourself, you had like, ups and downs in businesses. So, how did you pick yourself up whenever like your business went down?
Well, there's always a test every year. So this is how I take it. So when your employees come and go, so one year you got 10 employees come up to Christmas, some people will leave or some people just chose different paths. So after Christmas you come back and you only got 4 employees and you had 12 before Christmas. Right? So that was a test to get yourself back.
Is that tells you that that you need to change something? Is that the test?
It's not telling you that you need to change something, it's just a test to see if you can actually do it again. Now, every business is tested that way to see if they can bounce back. Now, it could be from COVID, could be from sickness, could be from just an industry going south.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all a test to a business owner to get back and bounce back and be stronger. I experienced that for a couple of years.
So
the same instance.
But I mean, for your personal, like your own personal experience,
Yeah.
What did you do for your mindset? Because I know that you're big on that.
Yeah.
So what did you do to get yourself out of the hole?
It's more about developing skills with people. Also, you know, you have to think about it, plan what you're going to do, with, you know, how you're going to attack it, how you're going to change your way that you're doing things, and just being open to it, you know.
And now you feel like, what other achievements are you looking to get out of business?
Well, I want to go back to the jury, where I began, and I want to go back to the building game.
Do you?
And my grandfather told me not to go. So they're my two biggest passions.
You want to try the other way?
I want to go. Well, now they both passed. My father passed. I had ideas in the jury trade that he sort of shunned upon, but I feel now.
You feel like free to experiment.
I feel free to experiment, and same with the building trade. You know, I've got no one telling me not to do it. So
there you go.
I have multiple properties, so we're trying to go off the back of those and do some more developing and just make more money.
Now this is like a business part, and obviously like you got so much to give and so much are you doing.
Yeah.
But tell a little bit more about energy and feelings, and like I was with you within a networking event, and the room surrounded you, like you were pulling people like with your
Because
so
the reason
tell me more about it.
Because I felt everyone was a bit intimidated by a particular person, and I felt I'm going to be the only voice in that room. There's 100 people in the room. I felt I'm going to be the only voice in here. Everyone's like a cat on a hot tin roof, and I felt if I'm going to send energy and sort of, you know, make everyone feel more relaxed and more special in the room, they do have someone on their side. And it didn't have to be aggressive, but it just had to be more like having the people at ease.
Do you think
because when your mind's at ease, you think more?
Is that the because obviously like we're part of the same group, same room.
Yeah.
What do you say to the person that says by doing that you're enabling their attitude or their mistakes, like just by treating them nicely?
Yeah, so the thing is, if you're enabling them, what you're trying to do is, you're not enabling them, but it's for someone like me that had the experience, but for someone that's coming from the outside that's got no experience at all, then that'll be a different story. But that means they haven't got the accreditation. It's not that we've got the accreditation, it's more, it's someone that can be there just as a support matter.
I think it's important like to understand that there's definitely people that respond to different things.
That's correct.
And I think I mean, especially within the world of entrepreneurs, like you have like the people that thrive under a barking coach.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that will be me actually.
Yeah.
So like I grew up in playing sport.
Yeah.
To like to semi-professional level in Italy, right?
100%.
I was a basketball player,
There you go.
and I mean my coach, it was all yelling, right? But then that pushed me to like achieve, and I didn't even know that they was pushing me to achieve the better version of myself.
It's the best way.
But that's what I respond to, right?
Yeah.
But then there's people that will respond to your approach where you're a little bit more of a gentle.
I wouldn't say I'm gentle. No, I do the Gordon Ramsay. I do the Gordon Ramsay. Don't
Gordon
you worry. I do the Gordon Ramsay training.
I didn't
in the field.
experience it.
You will experience it. So you see me in person, you take me how I am now. I'll befriend you and I'll help you and I'll coach you that way. But when we're in the field, it's one-on-one. You're going to learn, and I'll do the Gordon Ramsay approach. You don't worry about that. Don't worry.
I don't want to.
Because it does make you better. It's just that having that behind you and being a little bit stricter on your training, and you do get a lot of better outcomes. But also you get more respect. You get more respect from the people.
How do you prepare for the world out there in the world of entrepreneurship? Because
focus.
There's people that speak about university preparation. There's people that talk about coaching.
What you got to think about success is measured on the money that you make. Success is about, being focused and teaching people and helping them accomplish something. So one thing, a lot of my employees, they come out from jail. They come from all walks of life where they weren't given a chance. And I'll tell you, the ones that come from jail, they've done time, they can't get a job, right? They're the ones I put on. They're the ones that never complained. They're the ones that turned up. They're the ones that gave you every blood, sweat and tears, right? The ones that got the silver spoon, that turned up, were the ones that whinged, complained and wanted everything for nothing. And they would not learn. The ones that wanted the most were the ones that had nothing.
And so what did push you to work with people, like giving them a second
Because
chance?
What happens is I've just got this energy where people are drawn to me. My voice draws people in. Now, I'm like a magnet to those type of people. But anyone. Could be a good person. You could be the person with the silver spoon. But I'm going to change you. I'm going to turn you into the person that you should have been. Also, the people that have had a hard life, I'm going to be your brother that you didn't have. Right? I'm going to be your support. I'm going to talk you through it. That's why you come to me. Not only as a job, but for me to give you a second chance and help you out in life.
I love it.
Now, some of the people I've helped, they're managing roles now. They started off, on a shovel. Now they're working for other big businesses, managing and just to see them, they've got a career out of it, a real career.
A real second chance.
A real second chance, mate. Because I gave them the first chance. And they might have only been with me for a year and a half, and then they come, boss, I don't want to leave, but I've got this other opportunity. That's fine. I've got the next person to come. I'll take them in, and I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll mould them, and I'll put them back out there properly, how people should have been moulded.
Did this come from something from your past, like from your personal journey? Or overcorrection?
I was born with a gift.
And you want to give?
So I thought I gave up the gift. I used to be self-healer when I was a young kid and always, worked with people. I was in all sorts of groups at school. I was in the popular group, I was in the nerd group, I just took everyone in. I was like...
Well, you do strike me as somebody that want to hug.
But anyway,
look, I
don't want to bore you. We go into this. I bore you about the auras that I see and the spirit.
Well, that's what I wanted to hear.
Well, that's another time, baby.
No, I want to know about this auras thing. So I didn't even see the auras.
So my grandmother was a white witch. She was born 18th of September. Okay, and she labelled herself as a white witch. If you want to look up the meaning, she's very spiritual, all about natural medicines and stuff like that. But also, she would do weird stuff where she'd go to funeral homes and she didn't even know the people. No, just go with the family first, comfort them, and then start talking to them and then build a relationship with the families. And she would do that every week.
But how about you? So then you...
But she started telling me I had the gift. She told me I hold the keys.
Okay.
And I said, I was a bit young. I was 14 years old. I said, I hold the keys. I don't believe in all that sort of stuff.
And now?
And now since I've turned 30 and just started seeing things. But I used to do a bit of self-healing. I used to think I was a weirdo. Because I'd just go and take myself from a family of 8 kids, right?
Yeah.
Some of them adopted, some of my brothers that are my mum's sister's kids and stuff, and also my brother's kids ended up there. So what I'd do, the house was too loud, so I used to take myself away to a quiet place near a creek, and I'd sit there and I'd meditate. I'd heal myself injuries, and I'd look into the light, and I'd bring strong light into myself, and that would make me powerful and give me ideas and stuff like that. And then I started thinking I was a bit weird, to do so.
Yeah.
And then my father, when I was 8 years old, he needed a heart transplant. So I went in there and I got told that it's his last, they had to turn the life support off. It's going to be his last meal. He needed a heart transplant, he couldn't get one. So I went in there, 8 years old, put my hands on his head. And I said, I'll give up my healing gift if you just let my father live on. And I put all my energy into his head, closed my eyes, and then I left home, went home. The next day, this is Christmas Eve, the next day, we get a phone call. Your father's going to be okay, he's going in for surgery, we prepped him.
What?
He got a heart. He went on to live, third longest living heart transplant, 29 years in Australia.
Oh my God.
From that day on. He passed 3 years ago, and I forgot about all that gift, all my healing gifts sort of thing, but I started doing stuff. Still had the astrology stuff, like with the star signs and all that. I still knew all that because my grandma told me she would shut up, but I forgot about the healing part, I forgot about the energy part, and then my partner was doing it, Renee was doing it, and then she was meditating one night. It was my 41st birthday, midnight. She was meditating, I had my arm resting on her leg. She was meditating, I'm laying there. This is a week before we're going to Tony Robbins. I wasn't going to Tony Robbins, I'm not going, alright? My arm rested on hers. I woke up 1 o'clock in the morning. I felt like I'd slept 8 hours. I ran downstairs, I got this book out, and I started writing down everything, what I had to do. It's telling me, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to get this app out, I've got to help people. I've got to, help all these people out and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what Tony Robbins was about. She bought 2 tickets for me and Renee.
Yeah.
We had 2 tickets.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was about.
Yeah.
But I started writing this down before we even went. So this is what changed my mind to go there. So then what I did was my birthday in the morning. We booked in to go to this dance. We had tickets for this dance party on George Street, just here. And I said, okay, so we'll go there. We both weren't really feeling it, we're both in different sort of minds. Oh, we don't want to go out drinking and partying and all that, like we usually do. Like we have done our whole life, right? Anyway, so we go in there, and this is our event. Alex K, listen to music, doos, 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 doos. Shirts off, everyone's dancing, like that sort of shit. Now, usually we'd be there till 4 in the morning, right? 1 o'clock, I'm looking at Renee, Renee's looking at me. Oh, I think we better go. So we go, yeah, all right, we're going.
Okay.
So we go outside.
What happened?
We went outside, we just weren't feeling it. We're going home. But we went outside, and there was these 2 homeless people sitting on the sidewalk. One of them had their head turned the other way, facing the wall, and the guy was sitting there. And I said, oh, how you going, mate? He said, oh, what's going on? And I started talking to him about, what he's doing and that. So I pulled out my wallet and I gave him $50. Okay? I said, there you go. No, it's not going to be much for you, but it's going to help you. Now, as I'm saying that, there was the other person that was facing the wall, had a hoodie on, turned around and took the hood off, and it was his wife. Someone that looked like they shouldn't even be on the street. Like, she looked like she could be a supermodel. Do you know what I mean? Like, she didn't look like she belonged on the street. So then I said, look, here's another $50. But Renee was starting to feel sick, so then she wanted to go home. And it was freezing cold that night. Freezing cold. It was the 9th of September, 2 years ago. Anyway, Renee said, okay. Anyway, we're walking down George Street, and usually back in my day, like back in the day, if I see, group of 10 guys picking on 2 guys, I'll just go up and I'll protect the 2 guys and probably punch on with them, you know what I mean? So what I did was, we're walking down George Street, and I went up to the biggest guy on there, and I said, I see you. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I see you, Laura. I see who you are as a person. And I said, this isn't you. And here his mate standing behind him. And I started describing who he was as a person. And his friends are going, how do you know who this person is? What do you mean? And I kept saying, I said, you're a big teddy bear. You've got a heart. It's like light blue. I said, you've got a good aura. I know who you are. You're a good, kind person. He goes, no, I'm not. I'm a cocaine dealer. I said, yeah, so am I. I'm a cocaine fucking pig, mate. Right? So I got their attention. Then they started listening and listening and listening. Then they wanted me to do them. And I'm doing you and doing him and doing him. His mates, doing them all. Tell them who they all are as people. And they're like, get fucked. How do you know this? I said, you know what your biggest issue is? You ain't working. Got to go and get a fucking job. Right? All yous are capable to get a job and work. You're limiting yourself to what you want to do. not starting off at something that you don't want to do. Get in there, have a go. You'll find your passion, then you move on from that. But it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from there. Before I knew it, I've turned around. I've got 300 people here, 300 people here, all listening to what I had to say in my voice. And I said, look, I'm sorry, I don't usually talk when I've been drinking like this. I said, I just refound myself, okay? Now, what do you like what I've just said? Okay, your voice draws us in. We can hear what you're saying. And they're like, just all like this. I said, it's my birthday. I just come out, I don't usually talk, I'm a bit drunk. And they're like, oh, what's your name? They go, Neil. So, 2 o'clock in the morning, within a couple of minutes, 1,000 people, George Street, are singing, happy birthday, Neil.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So from there on, then I said, I said to Renee, I've written all these notes now. I have to help alpha males on here. Not that I'm sexist, I will help anyone with their auras, but it's more that after the COVID thing is the alpha male thing is for the young males. So what we've been doing when we're out, I've been calling young kids out on suicide, and I can see what they're doing with themselves. And I won't do it in front of people. I'll pull them aside, I'll say, I know what you're doing with yourself, mate. You've been trying to hang yourself. And they'll say, how do you know? So what I'll do, I'll pull them aside, look in the mirror, right? You go that side. Look in the mirror every morning, right? And I want you to tell yourself, I am amazing.
I am amazing.
No.
I am amazing.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I want you to do that. I want you to do that every morning. I want you to look yourself in the mirror until you feel better about yourself.
Love it.
Okay? Because I'm your brother here. Because a friend in need is a brother in... A friend in need is a friend indeed.
I like it.
All right?
I knew that we would hug. I knew that we would hug.
That's the other thing. You want some energy?
Ah! In the best.
Thanks, guys.
Neil, like, you're gonna message him, you gotta call him. They can find you on social. I know Neil Carr, Instagram, Facebook. Send him a message.
Alpha Coach.
Because that's how you feel after.
Alpha Coach 888. Alpha Coach 888.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate it. See you, man.
See you, dude. See you.